Math 76, lesson 97, we're talking about measures of a circle. Some of you might be a little confused because the video did not start on the book. Well, all we're learning right now are some geometry terms that refer to a circle that help us out in math a lot. So I'm going to start by drawing a circle. The way we draw a circle in math is we start with this right here. That dot is the center of the circle. In mathematics, the very center of the circle is incredibly important. So first I'm going to draw that dot, and then I draw my circle around it. Ha! Perfect! No, I'm just kidding. That's far from perfect, but that's okay. Most people can't draw a perfect circle. Technically, no one can. So we just need to make it good enough to where we can understand what's going on. So maybe, not maybe, we'll get a little bit better at our circle drawing when it comes to mathematics, because having an accurate drawing or a close to accurate drawing will help us solve some of our problems. So let's start with the measures of a circle. Now, that all-important center, if we were to measure the distance from the center of the circle to one edge of the circle, we would get a line called the radius. Now, this is a little bit hard to see on my oblong circle, but if I show you a perfect circle, like this one over here, the radius does not change. It doesn't matter what point you draw to the circle. You could go to the center, draw a line to any spot on the circle, and you have the exact same distance, which we call the radius. Next, apart from the radius, we have a line called a diameter. A diameter is a line that goes from one side of the circle and stretches all the way to the other, and it passes through the center. If the line does not pass through the center point, then it is not a diameter. And all diameters, like all radiuses, are equal to each other, which means a circle technically only has one diameter. The question is where you're going to draw it. If I wanted to, I could draw the diameter right here, I could draw the diameter there, I could draw the diameter here, or I could draw a radius here, I could draw a radius there, I could draw a radius here. It doesn't matter where I draw it, the measurement will be the same everywhere on the circle. All right? So we've got our first two parts, the radius and the diameter. Now, this is an important distinction right now. If we were to look at our diameter, right here, this is the center of the circle. And from here to here is from the center to the edge, right? So that's one side of our diameter, right? That's describing a radius. So that is a radius, and that makes up half the diameter. And if we look at the other half of the diameter, we've got a point from the center that goes to the edge, which is another radius. So this brings us an important fact, which is that the diameter will always equal 2 times the radius, right? So the radius is always half the length of the diameter is always twice the length of the radius, okay? Now, that's very important because let's say your book tells you we have a circle with a radius of 8, right? And they're going to write it like this. They might say r equals 8 inches, right? Find the diameter. Well, if the radius is 8 inches and the diameter is twice as big, then I just have to take 8, multiply it by 2, and then I know the diameter is 16 inches. Okay, so that's how that works. And then vice versa. Let's say on this circle they tell me the diameter is 10 inches, right? Well, if the diameter is 10 inches, then the radius must be half as big, right? So I'm doing the same thing but backwards now. So instead of multiplying by 2, I need to divide by 2. 5 inches, okay? So now we know diameter, radius. Last thing we're going to talk about is something called the circumference. Now, the circumference is like the perimeter of the circle. Circumference. And that's the measure to go all the way around the circle one time, right? So, in order to find the circumference, we have to multiply by a special number called pi. And, oh wait, are we not doing that this lesson? Oh, no, sorry, we're not learning that this lesson. That's it. That's all we're learning today. We're learning diameter, radius, circumference. Remember, circumference is like the perimeter of a circle, or the distance it takes to walk around the circle one time. And don't forget, diameter is twice the radius is half the diameter, and that's all there is. If you guys have any questions, let me know on the school website, and I will see you in class.